The top thieves tied 18 buoyancy balls to the sunken ship, and when the ship floated back up to the surface, they went straight to the Captain Sep's cabin and found a wooden box. When Luke opened it, he discovered an old worn-out painting inside, and that was their real target for this heist. But just as the two were about to leave with the painting, the enemy suddenly appeared in front of them and demanded they hand over the painting, so Luke pretended to agree, then took them down while they weren't expecting it. And right before the ship sank again, Luke and his sister escaped with the painting, and the reason they went through so much trouble to find the painting was to look for the Fountain of Youth, because on the back of each painting was a symbol, and if they gathered 6 symbols, they could locate the Fountain of Youth. But after getting all 6 symbols, they still couldn't form a proper word. That's when Charlotte's son suddenly had an idea. He thought these letters actually represented different musical notes. Then he played an ancient melody with those notes, and that song was created to honor the 7 wonders of the world. Then they realized the locations of the symbols matched the 7 wonders, and now only the Egyptian pyramids were left. So they immediately got on a plane and flew to Egypt. And all the team's expenses were covered by the rich man Owen, because he supposedly had cancer. So he was willing to spend his whole fortune to find the Fountain of Youth. Then Luke used 3D scanning technology and successfully found a secret chamber beneath the pyramid. And everyone immediately started digging, and soon they really did find a hidden passage in the wall. Then they entered a chamber, and according to the mural's instructions, only by moving the giant stone in front of them could they open the secret door. But no matter how hard they tried, they couldn't move it. So an impatient Owen ordered his men to pull out explosives. Charlotte quickly stopped him when she saw that, because if they set off the explosives, the tomb might collapse. But while the two were arguing fiercely, the boy noticed the stone beside them was actually a kind of instrument, and he immediately started playing the ancient melody. Right after, the sand on the giant stone started to float. Seeing this, Charlotte gave it a gentle push, and successfully opened the secret door. But when they went underground, they found an endless abyss before them. That's when Luke noticed a special pattern on the ground. So he tried turning the buttons on it, and accidentally opened a skylight above. And as the light poured in, the mechanism on the cliff was triggered. Hidden bricks in the wall started extending outward, eventually forming a staircase leading straight down. Then everyone followed the stairs down to the underground, and found a huge pit in the center, and at the center of the light source was a pool of clear spring water. But when they saw this water that could grant eternal life, they froze in fear at the words written on the wall.
In proportion to the blessing is the curse. If you're not ready to receive the blessing, you will receive the curse. Caution is advised.
It turned out drinking from the Fountain of Youth might come with side effects. When Owen saw this, he immediately dropped his disguise. Turns out he never had cancer. He just wanted to use them to find the Fountain of Youth. And now he demanded Luke to be the test subject. But faced with the unknown danger, Luke clearly refused. But the next second, Owen suddenly pulled out a gun and shot Luke in the arm, forcing Luke to drink from the spring. Then Luke carefully walked toward the center and gently placed his hand in the spring. Then water started seeping out from the cracks in the stones, filling the whole ground. And when Luke's blood dripped into the water, the spring seemed to come alive, surrounding him, and started healing the wound on his arm. Then suddenly a surge of energy shot through his body, and Luke completely passed out, his body floating above the spring water. When Luke finally woke up, he felt an endless power inside him, and the spring showed him the face of his younger self, which made Luke want to drink from it. But at the same time, the spring revealed the so-called curse. As Charlotte and her son's bodies rapidly aged, Luke then realized the cost of eternal life was the life of the ones he loved most. So Luke decisively gave up on drinking it, and only let it heal his arm. Seeing the spring's healing power, Owen immediately shoved Luke out of the water, then dripped his own blood into the spring, and just like before, he floated above the water. Faced with this water that could give him eternal life, Owen drank it without hesitation, and at first, every cell in his body was filled with vitality. But before long, Owen's body suddenly began aging rapidly. Turns out the one Owen loved most was himself. So by gaining eternal life, he also lost his own life. The spring's massive energy made the pyramids start to collapse. Everyone quickly ran toward the exit, and in the last second, they made it back to the surface, and the Fountain of Youth was buried deep underground forever.